Well, I didn't expect to be doing another Carlos Soler video today, and if I did, I was hoping it would have been a little bit more positive than the news I'm about to bring you. It's not the end of the world. I don't want to over-dramatise it, but it appears that Everton are serious rivals to West Ham for the signing of the Paris Saint-Germain midfielder. How do we know this? Well, this has come from Florian Plettenberg, who has been front and centre of almost every West Ham rumour during this whole transfer window. Now, it appears that Paris Saint-Germain are hell-bent on selling this player. So, since I last done my update, which was earlier, they're basically, West Ham need to sell. Remember, there's a bit of a blockage, if you remember. We need to sell before we can buy. We're hoping to get it tied up before the end of the window. And Paris Saint-Germain want him gone. They don't want a loan deal. They'll do a loan with an obligation to buy, but they want it to be a permanent deal. Whenever it goes through, whenever it gets ratified, they want the permanent deal. That's really, really important for them. So, West Ham are waiting. And while West Ham are waiting to get whoever, Danny Ings, Nathan Gerd, whoever it is, out the door, so we can basically fill the coffers up a little bit, seems that Everton have come in, and Everton, it would seem, have matched our deal. Now, I don't profess to know what Everton's situation is with regard to can they do the deal now, which seemingly we can't, but it's there's competition, there's no doubt about it. There's competition for his signature, which we just didn't have before. Now, as I mentioned in the earlier video, we've got Hayden Hackney there, who is a bit of a backup for this one, but apparently Julian Lopetegui has made this a bit of a priority. I think, reading between the lines, I don't know this, but reading between the lines, we sort of lack a bit of a central creativity, don't we, really? I think the fact that we were using Thomas Souček as a battering ram rather than a sort of traditional number 10, as it were, against Aston Villa probably shows that we're a little bit light in that department. And, you know, let's not forget, we've got Lucas Paquetá. Is he going to play the season? Well, we hope so. Could he be banned halfway through the season and kicked out of football? Well, he might do. The truth is we just don't know. So not only do we need someone there, we need someone who's going to be able to fill in, play his position, and do so really, really well without, I guess, lessening the quality of the team. The other thing that has been the news today, sort of newsworthy in terms of Carlos Soler, is that Paris Saint-Germain have left him out of the squad completely for their weekend game against Montpellier. Montpellier, that's who they're playing. They played Le Havre last week, and they won 4-1. Soler was on the bench for that. They made 5 substitutes, but he didn't even get on the pitch. Now he's been omitted from the squad altogether. So if there was any bigger signal that they're ready to sell him, it's that. I mean, from everything you read, everything you hear, this guy has his bags packed and he's ready to go, ready to rock and roll, literally. But we do have serious competition now. Now, the one thing that should be noted here is I do believe he is committed as you can be to joining West Ham, bearing in mind he hasn't signed. And how do we know this? Well, there was a bit of a temper tantrum coming out of the Spanish press midweek because Real Sociedad had made an agreement with Paris Saint-Germain. And Soler had said, no, I don't want to go, I'm joining West Ham. So I believe that he has spoken to Julian Lopetegui directly. He does that all the time. Lopetegui, we know this already. We've only had one transfer window with a guy at the helm, but we do know he speaks to everybody. So there's no surprise there. He's spoken to Lopetegui. He said to Real Sociedad, thanks, no thanks, I'm going to join West Ham. So, you know, that tells us a couple of things. One, in the one hand, gives us a little bit of hope and tells us that, okay, he's reasonably committed to the project, but it tells us something else as well, and that is that Paris Saint-Germain are more than capable of making a deal with other parties. So it's not that PSG have any great love to sell him to West Ham. They just want rid of the player. So if they accepted Sociedad's bid, accepted West Ham's bid, then there's every reason to believe that Plettenberg is stating the truth here when he turns around and he says there's serious interest from Everton. What do you use the word? Concrete interest from Everton. I think this one's going to run and run, and there's nothing we can do about it on this one, I'm afraid. If we do get beaten to the punch with this player, then what can we do? Honestly, what can we do with this one? If we don't have the money, we don't have the money. If we're looking to sell players and we can't do it, and that's just what it is. There is a strange irony, really, about all of these players that we're looking to get rid of, that actually you think, well, it's Zuma, who's probably the least saleable, is the one that we had an agreement with to leave. He failed the medical. We're hoping something happens in the GERD. And the longer this goes on, the more I'm thinking with the GERD, this is going to take... It's going to take a long time, really, isn't it? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen at the very, very end of the transfer window. Yeah. Anyway, I want to talk to you about Raheem Sterling. The club have come out and made a statement, an official yet unofficial statement on the Raheem Sterling stuff. Before I do, obviously we've got the game tomorrow. Make sure you got your match bingo. Got to have your match bingo. If you don't know what match bingo is, it's basically a cross between bingo and football. It's a betting app, but we've had loads and loads of winners from Hammers Chat, from you guys that watch it. It's a low-stakes betting app. You can't spend loads of money. Each game is basically £2 a card. Now, obviously it does all the Premier League games, does cricket, does darts, does lots of stuff. But as far as the Premier League is concerned, tomorrow's game is obviously West Ham against Crystal Palace. We've got a special offer for that one, and that is if you buy 3 cards, then you get 2 for free. So basically buy 3 cards and you get 5. It's £2 per play. We've had winners ever since they started sponsoring us. We had winners again last week. I think Nick won. I think I got that right. I think Nick won last week and had some good winnings off of that. I've won myself. We've had over 90 winners on Match Bingo, just from people that watch Hammers Chat. What happens is, rather than a bingo card where you get a set of numbers on it, you've got incidents that may happen in the game, a shot on target, a booking, a substitution, that sort of thing. There's 3 lines of 5 incidents that can happen during a game. You get paid out for a line, you get paid out for 2 lines, you get paid out for a full house. Loads and loads of winners, but check out the link in the description below. They'll know you've come from Hammers Chat, and yeah, enjoy. It brings a little bit of extra intrigue to the game, and your phone will start pinging during the game saying, "Hey, West Ham have had a shot," and stuff like that, just like my phone pinged just then. Raheem Sterling, look, this is desperate stuff really from Sterling and Team Sterling. It's realistically, it's nothing to do with me, and I wouldn't even be discussing it if he hadn't been linked with West Ham. But he has been linked to West Ham, and he's done something which always surprises me when players do this, which is he wants to move, he wants to leave Chelsea, he's demanded to leave Chelsea, but it has to be to London. Okay, mate, well, you're sort of limiting your chances there. I don't. It doesn't say nothing to do with me. I'm not affronted or offended by it, but when you see footballers doing this type of thing, I don't think it looks great. Look, whether you think Chelsea's business has been good or bad, and I think by and large, personally, I think it's been bad. They have spent a lot of money, right? You would at least concede that they have a lot of footballers at their club who cost a lot of money. So there's no guarantee that anybody gets into that team, right? It's just because you're a £50 million player at Chelsea, it means nothing. If you're a £50 player at West Ham, you're probably going to get into the team. £50 million player at Chelsea, well, you might not. Honestly, it's full of them. It's full of players that have roughly that value and are on long-term contracts. Anyway, they had the season opener against Manchester City, and he wasn't just left out the team, he was left out the squad. So before the game had even happened, his representatives apparently had taken to social media seeking clarity. I think, well, why are you doing this stuff on social media? I find it odd. I do find it odd when people seek to communicate on social media with intermediaries, or even with people that they know. I mean, it's just weird. If you know someone, you've got their number. You don't broadcast it out to social media, do you? You just give them a call. You know what I mean? You just deal with it. So I find the whole process of them, it's basically it's theatre. That's what they're doing. It's theatre. It's a tantrum. They're putting it out there, and they really should have been contacting the club straight away. But anyway, they've thrown their temper tantrum. They've let it be known that Sterling wants out. He wants to sign for a London club. West Ham got linked. The club have come out unequivocally today and said, no. What did they say? They said, no chance. We've got no money and we've got loads of wingers. Well, that's really clear. I mean, that's really clear. And it would be madness. I don't know about you. I'm really looking forward to seeing Crescencio Somerville. I want to see him play. He looks really, really exciting. It'd be nice at some point if Guilherme got a chance as well. That'd be brilliant. I'm really happy with the composition of the wingers. I love Bowen and I love Kudus, and for once, and I've moaned about wingers for years. We don't have enough wingers, particularly on the left side. I don't moan about that stuff anymore. We've got them. I don't feel it's a graveyard shift. Even when Somerville came on, I thought he was perhaps the most exciting of the substitutes that were brought on against Aston Villa. So I want to see him come through. I don't want to see a big time Charlie like Sterling come in and upset the balance. Do you know what? There are people who turn around and say any West Ham fan. People use this sort of language, don't they? Any West Ham fan is mental. Excuse me. Any West Ham fan is mental. that wants that wouldn't think that they want Raheem Sterling. Well, you're not meant to. I know he's a good player. He would. I'm not even sure he'd improve the team. I'm not sure Raheem Sterling's better than Mohamed Kudus or Jared Bowen. I would, I'm far from convinced about that. But I understand he would improve the squad. I think the fact of the matter is, I just don't want to see it. I want to see these younger players come through. We've got our senior stars. We've got Kudus. We've got Bowen. I'll take those two over Sterling anyway. I don't want him. It's our blocking up. It's our football constipation again. I don't want him blocking the pathway. To the first team of these younger wingers that we've got. Yeah, absolutely not. Anyway, there you go. Right, I'll see you in the morning, won't I? I'll see you in the morning. We've got a game tomorrow, so I'll do a little nice, I'll say a nice video, it might be an horrible video. It'll definitely be a video tomorrow morning, the build-up of the game. I don't want to talk about it too much now. I understand that Edson Alvarez has said some stuff, and I want to sort of get my head around that. And I think it's quite positive stuff, by the way, so I just want to get my head around that, digest that, and regurgitate it back to you tomorrow.